Hello, viewers. Welcome back to another engaging episode of Manager's Mantra, where we connect with industry leaders who are shaping the future of business management. Today, we have with us Karthikeyan Natarajan, CEO, Infinite Uptime. Karthik is a seasoned business transformational leader with over 30 years of experience and led two organizations to become $1 billion plus businesses. His expertise spans across industries including auto, semiconductors, technology, telecom, aerospace, energy, and healthcare, working closely with Fortune 500 client CXOs. He has been part of the NASSCOM Executive Council and is a former CEO and Executive Director at Cient. He holds a mechanical engineering degree from University of Madras, MBA from Symbiosis, and completed executive programs at IMDL, Ross School of Business, Harvard Business School. So, without waiting further, let's jump right into this insightful discussion.
Hi, Karthik. A very warm welcome to this new session of Managers Mantra, and we are really glad to have you with us today in this particular session of Managers Mantra. I'm sure it will be a great experience for all the viewers watching us.
Thank you, Abhishek, for inviting me to be part of this session, and really pleasure to be here. Hope the audience will have an opportunity to learn a thing or two after this session.
Sure, Karthik. So, let us just begin the session asking you discussing the questions with you. My first question to you is, what are some of the latest and the biggest trends in manufacturing that you have seen come up over the past few years? And how do you think those have helped the sector?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for the question, Abhishek. And if you look at manufacturing in India, which is hitting towards a $1 trillion mark, about 16-17% of the GDP, has the potential to become 25-27% over the next decade, and which has a huge growth potential. India being a large country with huge amount of population, manufacturing has to play an important role. Now, specific to the question that you asked, what are the biggest trends and what has really impacted this industry? I think this industry has shifted from automation to intelligence, and it means lot of things to many people. So let me just step back in trying to pick up this in three distinct trends that I would call it as. One is an AI-driven decision making. Second, connected factories through industrial Internet of Things and resilient supply chain. And especially in the global geopolitical issue that we are seeing today, the resilient supply chain has been added post-COVID, post-Ukraine-Russia conflict, and now what we are seeing over the last 3-4 months is adding to it, right? So these are the three major things that is important when you are really trying to take the manufacturing forward. The industry is moving from a reactive to predictive to prescriptive operations. And what does it mean? You will wait for something to happen and then you will react to it. And then you start making predictions, what is to be done, but you did not know when to do what to do. You directionally know something need to be done, but you never got a clear view of what to do, when to do. And that's what the prescriptive nature is all about, which Infinite Uptime specializes in. And the next one is about digital twins and contextual AI. They help in reducing significant amount of unplanned downtime and improve productivity. And now sustainability is no longer a compliance, it's becoming business KPI. And the biggest change that we have seen over the last 3-4 years is the manufacturers are moving from an isolated technology investment to integrated platform. When I say integrated platform, which is supposed to improve throughput, efficiency, and profitability, all being integrated. It's just not for the technology for the sake of technology. It is supposed to have a business impact, which is where this is going to be making a huge difference during this decade and helping the manufacturers to improve the contribution to GDP from 15-16% to probably 25% over the next decade.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karthik, for that answer. Today no discussion is perhaps complete without discussing about artificial intelligence. What best we can do is prepare for the transformation. Now, how are you preparing for the digital transformation, including AI and smart factory technologies?
Yeah, it's a very important question. And the reason why we exist as Infinite Uptime is essentially to helping the manufacturers to make the leapfrog. And the digital transformation that we do, it begins with the business outcomes and not just a technology deployment. And what it means, any investment that the customers would make on us, we will have a clear return of investments with business outcomes, which is clearly tied to it. And how do you think we really start with that? We start with high value use cases, which is about reliability and improving the equipment reliability to plant reliability. That's an ambition that we have. And build unified data foundation across equipment, process, and be able to contextualize the process along with the equipment. AI should augment human expertise rather than replacing the operators and move from simple dashboards to actionable recommendations and eventually leading to autonomous workflows. Transformation should happen in few phases, and you start getting visibility and then getting into predictions and then to prescriptions and eventually move towards a semi-autonomous and autonomous operations. All of us have seen how the automobiles, the cars have become more safer, more semi-autonomous to autonomous. I'm sure all of us have seen the Waymos and Teslas, which has really made a huge impact in the North American market. I think the similar concept will start coming into the factory floor, which means you will start seeing factories are being assisted with AI and then slowly start becoming a kind of enabling a semi-autonomous operations, leading to a fully autonomous operations. I don't see the days are far off when you really think of dark factories. When I talk about dark factories, which are fully autonomous operations and which has very few human labor that is required to monitor the operations. I think what we are working with various customers in the journey of helping them with prescriptive maintenance, which enables significant reduction in terms of downtime or availability or uptime of their equipment, and towards improving the plant reliability. That's what we are planning to do in the next phase. Our intent is to help optimizing the plant operations towards sustainability, safety, and cost and throughput, along with energy optimization, and the further step towards 3, 4 years down the line in terms of enabling truly a semi-autonomous operations.
Thank you. That was really so insightful, Karthik. Uh, Karthik, we are probably living at a time, one of the most crucial times in history where we have seen the pandemic, we are seeing the geopolitical disruptions, and it's a very tough time for young leaders also who will be joining the industry or who have already joined the industry and still pretty young. My question to you is, how can these young leaders build agility into the supply chain to tackle this headwinds that includes the pandemic or any kind of geopolitical disruptions?
I think it is important for the young engineers or the young leaders who are looking to build their career to really think about this is the best opportunity for them to build a career which are going to be technologically more entertaining, technologically more accretive, and it is going to create more knowledge workers, and it is going to make them to be a lot more efficient and productive compared to any other generations in their history. And this is something which they all should be excited about and not to be concerned. But at the same time, they also should start thinking about how do we really getting them upskilled, getting them ready for AI. I get asked this question multiple times. Will AI take away jobs? And AI take away probably some part of the jobs, and it will create a lot more new jobs. And it will also create something which will be a disruption in terms of existing jobs need to be upskilled. So there will be no one left in the planet who's not going to be affected by kind of a technological impact from artificial intelligence. But at the same time, it also provides opportunity for everyone to stay relevant and continue to work on building their career towards staying relevant, continue to upskill, add additional capabilities, either in the form of prompt engineering to all the way to agentic AI framework and the ability to apply them. How do you think you can really be part of the change? And the people who would really lose jobs are the ones who will not be getting themselves AI savvy compared to those who are going to be left out, not getting ready for the next wave that is coming up.
So, Karthik, we are probably there's a high time when focusing on green tech, uh, climate tech, sustainable, climate-friendly manufacturing. But then there is a lot of expectations on, quality, cost efficiency. Now, how do you strike the right balance between quality expectations, cost efficiency? while also maintaining sustainable and climate friendly manufacturing.
Yeah, I think it was probably the last generation realized quality, cost, and sustainability as a trade-off. But I think it is definitely not the future that we are building. I think it is being seen as one is reinforcing on the another rather than seen as a trade-off. And for example, if you really think of reducing energy consumption, lowers cost and carbon footprint simultaneously, and which also addresses the sustainability part that we spoke about. So better process control reduces defects and scrap and waste. For example, if you look at what we have seen with AI and connected operations, we help in optimizing the resources real time. And whenever we see there is a process drift, if you can really make the process to come back to where it should operate, I think it really helps to avoid unnecessary waste and avoid quality issues later, and ensures that the energy is optimized. And so the way that we are really seeing that is sustainability should move from reporting metrics to operational decisions embedded into daily workflows. I think that's the kind of way in which we see the world is moving towards. So it is not one versus another. I think by way of you trying to have the right focus, right directional view of where do you see the business headed to, it is going to create a sustainable manufacturing as a way forward, which is cost effective, leveraging technology.
Thank you so much, Karthik. With the advancement in automation, there is a rising scare of getting replaced. Now, what skills should young leaders have to interact with advanced automation rather than getting replaced by them?
I think in the next 5 to 10 years, you will find a lot more opportunities that is coming on the way as the manufacturing is taking the maturity curve. And this is going to take at least a decade, if not more. And we have seen for the last 2 decades how the automation that has been driven from early 2000, we took almost 20, 25 years to get many factories to go through the automation curve. So it's just not about technical skills, which are alone sufficient. You need to learn how the data of AI and automation work. And you don't need to know coding at depth because coding is gone, which is a good news because you don't need to be a software engineer to understand how the AI can be deployed, and also strengthen the critical thinking and problem solving abilities. I think this is going to be definitely in abundance that is going to be needed, and build adaptability because technologies will evolve faster than the career, and you need to be ready to change. You need to really be putting your efforts that is needed for you to continue to upskill and develop your communication and collaboration skills because humans and AI will increasingly work together, because you need to figure out how to really make humans to be assisted with AI, and how the AI is going to learn from humans, because this is going to be a continuous cycle. Because I kind of really believe the humans are the one who is going to make the AI intelligent. Once AI becomes intelligent, then humans are not necessarily required as much as what they were needed before. But remember, you're going to really use a lot of human tribal knowledge, their past experience. How do you think that's all going to be fed into an expert system? And that is a process that many of us would be involved in. And at the same time, staying curious like ever before is very important, and continuous learning to stay relevant. I think these are the skills that people, young engineers and the young leaders should really adopt as part of the change that is coming towards them.
Great, amazing. I think that answer would reduce the, kind of scare among those people who are thinking that they might get replaced by AI and automation. Coming to the last bit, the last question for the session. Karthik, you have been in the leadership position for years now. You have seen the ups and downs, you have seen the challenges, the different opportunities. Uh, you know, if I rewind you back to where you started with the leadership position till now, uh, what is the most important leadership lesson that the industry has kind of taught you, and what can the next generation of leaders learn from that?
Oh, many things. I can tell you that it has been a roller coaster ride. I enjoyed every moment of it. And if I were to pick few specific pointers, I would say I think be passionate and persevere on things that you are really fully bought into. If you have an ambition, you have a vision, I think there is nothing that really makes it happen than you manifesting all the time and keep thinking about it. And the third one would be perspiration, which is about you have to sweat it out. You have to put a lot of hard work. And when you're clear that directionally you are aligned, even though you may be going slow in your career, you should keep moving on. You will get to the destination for sure. And other thing which I've seen, don't feel shy in terms of taking risk. If you have a path which is very clearly defined versus uncharted territory, I would recommend people to take the uncharted territory because it's going to be scary, it's going to really test your nerves, but that's what will give you the success. And when you build 20, 30, 40 years of career, don't feel at the end of 30, 40 years, oh, I wish I've done this something 20 years ago. I wish I've done this 15 years ago. If you feel that you want to risk your career, risk it now. And it's the best time for someone to really put their career at risk. How many times in your career of 20, 30 years, you put your career on the line when you took a decision? I think that's what really made you as a better leader. I always said whenever I kind of post a decision to choose something path of least resistance, which is comfort, versus path of lot of difficulties, I've always chosen the path least traveled because that will really test your nerves, which will make you better, which will get you ready for uncertainties. I think the world is getting whatever I've heard about 10, 15 years ago about the world is moving to become a VUCA world, which is volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. I'm not sure it has gotten better. So this has become new normal. So better get used to it. VUCA is only going to increase. The volatility will only increase. The geopolitical things will only go worse, but get ready for it. And you can't really expect things will get better and start finding yourself to be being in the normal world. This is going to be the new normal. I think when people talked about COVID, a lot of them said, oh, this is going to be the new normal. We better get used to it, which has become so true in the last 6, 7 years. I'm not sure any 2 years in the last 6 years have been any easier either, because we have seen a lot of challenges in the form of COVID and disruption, the supply chain, and then moving towards the conflict of war, which has created huge amount of uncertainties, and the kind of disruption that has created across geopolitical issues has never been quiet period, right? So now you better get used to it as the new normal. Start figuring out what you are planning to do in this uncertainty and have clarity in your head and march towards it. And don't get worried about what's going to be seen as deviations. I kind of have a belief saying that the uh, the disruptions are seen by those who deviate from the target. So when you are really going to be focused on your ambition, your career, what you want to achieve in life, I think rest of them become a kind of an incidental action that happened around you.
I think that line that you said, that disruptions are being seen by those who have deviated from the target, that is going to be the highlight of the session. Great learnings, amazing suggestions. I am sure this will not only help those who are preparing to take up leadership roles, but also those who have been in leadership roles for quite some time now. Amazing. Thank you so much, Karthik, for this great session. Thank you once again for taking out your time and participating in this session. And we are really hopeful to stay connected with you and have you again in any of our future sessions of Be Smart Business Standard. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Abhishek. Have a good day. Bye bye.
You too. Bye. Take care.
So that's a wrap on this episode of Manager's Mantra. Thank you, Karthik, for sharing your insights on the future of manufacturing and providing career tips to the B Schoolers. Be Smart viewers, we hope you found this conversation helpful. Share your thoughts with us at bsmart.edit@bsml.in. Follow us on LinkedIn and Instagram for more such insightful and inspiring content. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing.